Hi guys, this is DoubleYourDutch here. We're here to talk about how to learn Dutch. Why do most people think learning a language or learning Dutch is almost impossible? And how should you learn it? The point is, I think the big problem is that most people think that language learning has something to do with acquiring knowledge. If you acquire vocabulary, you acquire grammar rules, you put the two together, and you should be able to speak the language or understand it. The problem is that we don't really use language in this conscious application of knowledge way. It's not actually the way people use the language. When we speak, I don't think, oh, let's start with a pronoun, followed by a verb with a certain conjugation, followed by whatever. We don't really think about it consciously when we speak. And when you understand, when I fire 20 words at you, you don't actually think and decipher these 20 words one by one. No, the minute I have spoken the sentence, you immediately know what I'm saying. It's like a reflex, automatic process, a subconscious process, both in our speaking and in our understanding. So the real question is, how do you get to that? Because the minute you're stuck in applying conscious grammar rules, case rules and whatnot, then you're never going to be truly fluent. Because to be truly fluent is to basically process language faster than you can do consciously with your brain. In order to truly make progress in your language learning, you need to focus on conversations. First, listening to native speaker conversations and then reading along with them, followed by at some point participating in conversations yourself. And then learning how native speakers express themselves and you learning to express yourself. Most language learning courses don't do that. They get stuck in either focusing too much on the grammar and the conscious application of those rules. You're making it really more complicated than it needs to be. Or they focus on vocabulary, which you can use these word lists, 1,000 most popular words in Dutch or whatever. Or they use short sentences. So like with Duolingo, Rosetta Stone, you have short sentences that you learn this and that. But you never really get exposed to language learning conversations, just whole conversations back and forth, not focused on creating short little sentences or focusing on accumulating as much new vocabulary as possible, but rather focusing on expressing the language. I compare it to playing tennis. If you play tennis and on lesson 1, a tennis teacher teaches you the rules of tennis, like, okay, this is where you serve, this is how the score goes, this is how you hit a forehand, this is how you hit a backhand, that can be very useful. But you want to basically move on to practical, actual exposure to the language. So what you might do then later in the lesson or the next lesson is you slowly start hitting forehands and backhands. So you bounce the ball off the ground, you slowly hit it across the net. And that's what you do. And that would be the equivalent of learning isolated words or maybe short sentences. But the equivalent of actually exposing yourself to full conversations and participating in full conversations, the equivalent of that would be to actually get on a court and play a full game of tennis. Play point after point, rally after rally. And you're not just using like a forehand in theory or just a forehand in isolation. No, you're responding to the balls your opponent plays. So you got to use your footwork, you got to get used to the rhythm and the timing of hitting the ball properly. And the same thing in conversations, you get used to the way people build sentences, the way people express themselves, and the more you practice doing that, the better you get at it. So what we do with most language learning courses is a bit like learning tennis without ever going onto court to play a game of tennis. And of course, you get better at tennis by playing lots of games of tennis. Get stuck into those rallies. Well, you need to get stuck into those conversations. And that was really the bottom line. I think most people never do that. And when you think, how does a baby learn the language? Well, they're constantly exposed to it. If you move abroad, which is the best way for most people to learn a language as an adult, you go live in Spain for 6 months, you will improve your Spanish a lot. Well, why? Because you're constantly exposed to conversations and you're forced to participate in them. That is simply how it works. Okay, so here at Double Your Dutch, we have created a course focused on that, focused on actual conversations between people, the way people would actually speak, focusing on expressing yourself. There's 130 conversations in the course that we've created, short conversations and longer conversations split up into multiple parts in order to make them more easily digestible. So that's what we're really offering on the website, DoubleYourDutch.com. Now, if you want to have a taste of that, you're kind of curious, we offer 5 free lessons available to you right now on the website. All you have to do is sign up with your email and you get them in your inbox. 5 free lessons. You can check it out, see if you like it. So this YouTube channel will be a collection of Dutch lessons where I will in fact explain the rules, it will in fact explain things surrounding the Dutch lessons. I will teach you some vocabulary and whatnot, but to really make progress, you need to start focusing on exposing yourself to conversations, okay? All right, guys, if you enjoyed that video and you found it useful, don't forget to like and share it. Subscribe to the channel for the next lessons. I will be releasing multiple lessons this next coming week, so stay tuned for that. And please leave a comment as to why you are learning Dutch. I'm curious to hear it. All right, thanks for listening. And until next time, goodbye.